Welcome to my chefing. My name is Chef Fran, and today we're making corned beef and cabbage and carrots and potatoes. So this is our corned beef. I actually have 6 pounds of corned beef here, 3 pounds of corned beef. Now, this is gonna shrink when it gets cooked in the Instant Pot. And then you can cook this any which way that's easiest for you, or you can cook it in your Instant Pot, you can cook it in your crock pot. Now the Instant Pot is the quickest way because it's pressure cooked. You could cook it in your crock pot and you can put it on high and cook it in 4 hours, or you could put it over your Dutch oven on your stovetop, which will be about, it's usually an hour per pound. So in our case, it would be 6 pounds, it's 6 hours, because it's an hour per pound. And there's a lot of fat here, but you want to leave it because it's important in your cooking process because it kind of gives the meat its flavor. And now the grain is this way, the way it's set up. So you want to cut against the grain because the grain is going this way. You want to be able to cut that way, when you're cutting. And I'll show you. That will help, because if you cut it another way, it will make your meat stringy, and you want it to have those nice, beautiful slices. So it's important to look and see, and this one here is going in this direction, and that one's going in this direction. So you want to cut it against the grain. That's really important once it's done. Now there's a lot of fat here, but it gives your meat a whole lot of flavor. And so we will remove it. I will remove it because some people tend to leave it because they like it. When my meat is done, I definitely want to remove it. And it's very easy to remove once your meat is done. It's more like gel-like. So kind of like almost a gelatin. So it's really simple to remove once your meat is done. Now the meat is cured. Corned beef is cured. And actually they use corned beef to make pastrami, if you didn't know that as well. But this meat is cured. And cured meaning that it had been basically marinating, basting, sitting for a while in some salt water. So I rinsed mine off because of the sodium. Some people don't, but most do. They rinse it off. So it's not that much sodium. Now, it's already kind of also been seasoned for you, but they also give you a little package which I'll show you. So since I have 2 of the corned beefs, each come with their packet. And so here's the packet. The little green stuff, if you see it, that is the crushed bay leaves, and the yellow stuff is the mustard seeds. And I don't know if you can see the little red in it, that's the red pepper flakes. And I don't actually see the little black pepper in here. Usually there's like black pepper in here. Oh yeah. There's some peppercorn in here, like the little round balls. So that we will put on our meat. So that will be our seasoning with some great aromatics. And aromatics meaning that we're gonna have our onions. I actually have a red onion since I'm doing red and green. I have a regular onion as well, and some garlic. And I have my herbs, and we're gonna do a bouquet garni. And if you're not familiar with that is, that's actually a French technique of putting herbs that's tied together with a twine inside your stocks or your soups or your meats that are, long cooking. And it contains some thyme, some parsley, and some bay leaves. Now, that's really the 3 that are used, but a lot of people like to add some extra more flavor, and they use rosemary and they use sweet basil. And so we're gonna do a bouquet garni that has 5 of these herbs in it tied together, and we're gonna just drop it inside our Instant Pot along with our onion and our garlic. And the key thing here with the onion and garlic is not to remove the core. It's just cut it down because that will help it, because the pressure in the pressure cooker is so high and intense, it can disintegrate your onions as well as your garlic. So you keep it in its skin. And of course, you'll remove it once you're done, but you'll have all of that wonderful flavor. We're also, as for us, our liquid that we're going to put inside the Instapot is going to be Guinness Stout. We're going to put that beer in it. We're going to put about 2 cups, 3 cups actually, because we have each 3 pound would get 1.5. So we're going to actually have 3 cups of that in there. So I'm just going to show you how I'm just going to, again, I am not removing the skin. I'll remove this skin, you know, the outer skin, but that's it. Everything else stays. The core, so you can keep the onion together in big wedges. Got this. Just again, taking off the outer skin. Now you make sure that you pick this up with your ladle once you're done. The pieces of the wrappers and stuff, because you're going to want to be cooking your cabbage, your carrots, we have baby carrots we're going to use, as well as your potatoes in that same liquid that now is going to have all the drippings, you know, in that stout. That's what you're going to cook, you know, under pressure, your cabbage and your carrots and your potatoes. Now let's set up our bouquet garni. Like I said, I thought I would need that onion, but I'm not going to. So I think I have enough onions here right now. And so our bouquet garni here, I'm just going to take some parsley, a few leaves of parsley. We're not chopping, we're not cutting. It is, so I'm going to do 2 bouquets. And the reason I'm doing 2 bouquets is I'm not 100% sure yet if both my meats will fit. So I am going to prepare and I am gonna do them separately. So you just set up. So I'm really taking 2 sprigs of rosemary. And now we want to get our spring going on. So now, I would actually even encourage you, if you have some more parsley, to put some more parsley on the outside of it to cover it up. There we go. Okay. Okay, and then you just tie it up. Tie it up really tight. You can give it a little bow if you want, or not want. Just want to make sure that it's secured. And there you go. And this is your bouquet garni. Our corned beef has vitamin B2, B12, thiamine, niacin, iron, magnesium, zinc, and phosphorus. Our brown sugar has vitamins potassium, iron, copper, and calcium. Our green cabbage has vitamins A, C, K, folate, potassium, magnesium, and fiber. Our red cabbage has vitamins A, B6, C, K, calcium, iron, magnesium, and anthocyanin. Carrots has vitamins A, beta-carotene, biotin, and potassium. Our YUKON potatoes, fingerling potatoes, has vitamins B1, B3, B6, C, potassium, magnesium, and folate. Our red fingerling potatoes has vitamins B, C, iron, potassium, and fiber. Our red onions has vitamins B6, C, potassium, and folate. Our onions, regular onions, has vitamins B6, C, potassium, folate, and magnesium. Our garlic has vitamins B6, C, manganese, and selenium. And our bouquet garnier, which consists of parsley, thyme, bay leaf, as well as rosemary and basil. I'll tell you what each one has. Parsley has vitamins A, B, C, K, calcium, iron, and magnesium. Thyme has vitamins C, potassium, and manganese. Bay leaves has vitamins A, B6, C, calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, manganese, riboflavin, and zinc. Rosemary has vitamins A, C, B6, and iron. Basil has vitamins C, K, A, manganese, magnesium, iron, and calcium. And our last but not least, what's going to give our corned beef a lot of flavor is our Guinness beer. It has vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, and phosphorus. Real fact, 84% of food insecure families reported buying the cheapest options for food. The cheapest doesn't always mean the most nutritious. Like I explained earlier, our corned beef and cabbage is going to have that extra dose of vitamin, that extra color, and a little pizzazz. We're going to have the red cabbage, which I showed you earlier how I cut up, and our green cabbage. And we have some YUKON fingerling potatoes, as well as some red fingerling potatoes. And I had showed you how we did our bouquet garni, and we have our carrots, and we have our onions, red as well as white, and our garlic. And here is our corned beef. Now, I explained to you earlier how it's already been cured and everything, but we have this little seasoning pack that we're going to put on it. But I also like to put a little bit of brown sugar. I actually like to rub it down with a little brown sugar. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Just rubbing it down with a little brown sugar before I add that seasoning packet that comes with it. And this is all the fat cap that we'll remove it once our corned beef is all pressure cooked. We're going to put it in our Instant Pot. And so we'll get that extra meat from there once we do that. And that's that. Okay. And here's a little seasoning packet that comes along with it. As I had explained before, it's a little bit of, has a little bit of crushed bay leaves, crushed red bell peppers, little peppercorn, and some mustard seed. And that's what's in here. And so I am going to rub that in. And because this looks like 2 layers with the fat cap that's right here, some more corned beef that's in here, I'm going to actually put a little bit in here. And the garlic I'll put afterwards. I want to put it on the fat side down. Yeah. Okay. I'm actually going to put it right back in here inside the pot. Okay. Maybe I'll put this away from the trivet. Okay, and I'm actually going to throw my garlic cloves on it. And again, like I told you, I left all the skin and even the core of the onions so it doesn't disintegrate through the high pressure. Just put that in here. And my bouquet garni, I'm just going to lay on the top of it. Okay, now I'm going to pour the Guinness. We don't want to touching the meat. So I'm putting some on this side and some on that side as well. 3 pounds of meat. Okay. So I'm sure you want to hear that sound, like that little audio music sound, like video game sound. And you should hear that second video game type of sound to know that you are locked, and make sure that your thing is unsealed, because if not, you don't want to get burned from the hot steam coming through. And now we're going to move our potatoes out the way, so hopefully you can see. We're going to do our pressure cook. We're going to do our pressure level high. We're going to cook this for an hour and a half, which is 90 minutes. So we're going to go hit the plus button and you go all the way up. And you see counting to goes to, should go to 130. So look at our corned beef. It's come out, it's beautiful. If you notice, everything has disintegrated though. So the onions I had on the beef here, lucky I kept the core because it's all mushed up and soft now. So it's basically gone, but it has all that delicious flavor. What I'm gonna do right now actually is, besides take all this stuff, I'm gonna get our veggies in and we're gonna let it go for 3 minutes. You hear that? So now we've locked it. And now, again, as I've showed you before, we want to do pressure cook. I've already removed the fat cat. I'm sorry, I should have showed it to you. But when you cut it on the grain, this is what you get, shreds. When you cut it off the grain, as you're supposed to, then you get these beautiful slices. See how tender that is? See? But if you cut it on the grain and not against the grain, you end up with shreds. So I did that because I wanted you to see. Well, this is our corned beef and cabbage and potatoes and carrots all set up. And you got that extra dose today of vitamins, of the anthocyanin from the purple cabbage, which are rich in antioxidants. And also helps boost your immune system. Okay, so we have that going on. And it aids in inflammation as well, it's been known to do. So I am going to taste this. Let me get a few carrots. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. It looks so tender. Look. So tender. Look how that breaks off. Look how tender that is, how that breaks off. I'm going to need my knife to eat as I should with my meat. Okay. And I'm going to take a yellow potato and a red potato. And I want to get some of my wonderful cabbage. Look how tender that is. So tender. I'm here for the cabbage all day, every day. I love cabbage. Okay. Since this is all together still, I'll have to take it like this. Guess I'll get another piece of meat to go with that. And it's really good to reserve your liquid from your cooking so the meat doesn't dry out. So how tender that cabbage is. Did you see how that just easily got it right? I'm here for it. The healthiness. All the flavors from the bouquet garnier, the garlic, the onion that I had in there, the Guinness that it cooked with. So good. This meat is so tender. So good. So tender. Let me touch the potatoes. I'm tasting everything separately just so you could see how, look at that. Potatoes so beautifully cooked. Look. Fully cooked. So much flavor from the liquid broth that it cooked in. It's so good. I know there's so many recipes out there that you could try regarding this corned beef and hash. But I invite you to definitely give ours a try as well with the purple cabbage and the regular cabbage. It is divine. We're putting, see how we get some of that brownness right here? That comes from us putting the sugar that I had put, like the little sugar. And that was really to kind of balance out some of the sodium that was in, even though I rinsed it off. But because the meat was cured, that's why you put some sugar to kind of balance out the saltiness, and also to balance out the alcohol a little bit. So, but it also kind of gave it like a beautiful, like, well, I don't want to, because it doesn't taste like sugar, but like the beautiful like caramel type of color. So that's where that comes from when I rubbed a little bit of the brown sugar. Listen, don't forget to click the like button by giving me a virtual hug. I appreciate and love hugs, and every time you hit the like button, you're giving me a hug, and I appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've been watching and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, because that also lets me know that you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out, and it makes me encouraged to put out more. And don't forget to share. Sharing is caring. Share this recipe with your family and friends, someone who wants to try to make this. You know, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today, and the fact that we got to cook together. And I say that because I know you're going to turn around and make this. And I really appreciate just all the love and support. And thank you again for hanging out with me today. Love you guys. Bye.